Hey, everybody. It's time to do that E3 Amigos podcast episode with me, Cory.
And me, Teeg.
And our guest this week, returning from a galaxy far, far away, parts unknown, Chris Skudnick.
I can give my whole name.
Put his social up there, too, dude.
You want his address? I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you where he lives.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that was glorious.
Oh, my God.
E3 Amigos.
That's already the title.
That's the title. That's the title.
It just came to me.
You know what? Sometimes the inspiration just hits. And
it hits you when you're mid-spin.
Oh, my God. Fuck you with this fidget spinner, dude.
I can't do this.
So, all right. So, we're going to talk about E3 because it just wrapped when we record this, but this will go up on Tuesday. Probably. Maybe we'll put it out earlier. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who fucking knows? But, so we're just going to go through the conferences, I guess, from start to finish.
It's the only way to go.
It's the only way because we can't remember how other stuff happened. So, Cory, you're the conductor of this orchestra or train.
So who's the
whichever
caboose?
one. The caboose. The caboose is loose. It could go anywhere.
Okay.
You're the crazy taxi driver.
Hey.
We've already used that intro.
I know. It's just so good.
First off, that's the one bummer of E3. No Crazy Taxi revival.
Yeah,
What's up with this?
There's
gotta
one of those phone games, like those clicker ones. It's like Crazy Taxi Cajillionaire or
Two
something.
of them or one of them?
I think there's one.
I saw just regular ass Crazy Taxi.
Well, that's
too.
probably there, but I'm pretty sure there's a new one that's just like a clicker where you just like
Hold
have
up.
some taxis that run about and make you money.
He's typing it in right now.
We're in
How
the
come
App
no
Store.
one?
Here we
Yeah,
go.
but how come no one's
Crazy
making?
Taxi.
Oh shit!
Crazy Taxi
Hold on,
City
there
Rush.
are three. Crazy Taxi,
There are more
classic.
Crazy Taxi phone games than there are Crazy Taxi games.
It's Crazy Taxi City Rush,
Oh.
and then Crazy Taxi Gazillionaire.
And then we get
Yeah, but
to
you're
the
missing.
generics.
Why has no one made a Crazy Taxi Go? Do you think it's because there would be way more vehicular manslaughter cases out there if people were bombing around in their car, all wild and free, trying to pick up everybody?
Just jamming out the
Oh,
Offspring.
you mean like Pokemon Go? I thought you meant like Hitman Go and stuff. And I'm just sitting here like, because Square Enix doesn't own it.
Crazy Taxi.
Speaking
Go,
of,
which is-
this is breaking
it's just-
news
it's
today
just called Uber.
that Square Enix no longer owns the Hitman IP.
no, they let it go with that team.
Well, did you see the announcement today was IO Interactive wholly independent now, and they own the Hitman IP. So good on those
Smart.
guys.
Yeah, smart move.
I mean, I think it was good on Square, too, to be like, listen, you guys were the only people that made Hitman games. We let you go. We're not going to do anything with this, so take it.
Either that or IO would have had a new thing called
Yeah,
Hit
they
Guy.
just
It would have been Hit Guy.
Hit Guy.
Join us for our new series of games, Hit Guy. He's not bald anymore. He's got a mullet.
He's got a little bit of hair and a blue tie. That's
Assassin
the only
man.
difference.
He doesn't have a barcode on his head anymore.
It's a QR code.
God damn it! He was right there before me.
They just give him a unibrow.
Oh man, I want that game.
Fuck,
where
why
is
is
that?
no one making Hit Guy?
IO Interactive, we've got you.
We need to...
and if you don't want to do
Listen.
that, just make it DLC.
We need to find someone who knows how to make games in some respect. We got ideas.
Jump and scoot.
Jump and Scoot, Hit Guy.
was about
I'm
to
sure we
say.
could shit out like 4 or 5 more.
Absolutely.
Crazy Taxi Go.
Can't call it Crazy Taxi. We don't own the IP.
Insane
It's gotta be
Taxi
called
Go.
Wild Taxi or something.
What?
I was excited to see, though, for that Crazy Taxi Gazillionaire, they actually purchased the rights to have that Offspring song again. Because that's what makes the game. If I start Crazy Taxi up and that doesn't play, I don't give a fuck.
I'm
Turning
out.
it off.
Shutting it off. Snapping the disc.
Oh man.
All right.
So anyways, about
Back-
E3.
So
Back to
E3.
E3.
So we're going
How'd
to
the
start
game-
with EA was the first conference on, was a Saturday
Snooze fest.
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, it was pre E3. It was EA Play.
The thing
It's
about...
E3. Whatever.
The thing about EA, though, is, I mean, it's not the most exciting conference, but I get why, because they have to cater to so many people. But the biggest thing for me was don't show me Battlefront for 30 minutes. I don't care about that.
No.
I'm excited for Battlefront 2, but I don't want to see 30 minutes of multiplayer in your conference.
Absolutely not. I don't care how many cool characters you show me. Like, I don't give a shit.
So, What else? They talked about Madden. I don't play Madden, but if you're into Madden, it looked cool.
It talked about a lot of sports games, and whoever was the guy in the FIFA game last year, well, he's back and kicking more.
Is it Ronaldo or something? Like
Kicking soccer balls like a champ.
Yeah. Football.
Playing a little footy.
Football.
Little footy.
It was the funniest thing to me was when they were like, the new Madden, and we've been able to use the power of the Xbox One Scorpio. Look at this fabric. I was like, looks like some pretty good fabric. Like, I don't understand.
That fabric's real.
Like, I feel like they don't even really have to sell anyone on Madden anymore. They're just like, all right, it's new Madden, play it, buy it.
Madden's my favorite thing to get announced every year because every year they come out and go, this is why your Madden sucks and this Madden's better. And it's just so good.
That's very true. They are very condescending towards
every year they improve those ball physics. I don't know how they do.
They're like, you liked Madden before, that makes you a human piece of shit. Like, this new Madden will turn you into a golden god. Get on board. Madden 2029.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there was a couple things, though.
Well, they talked about Anthem.
Well, they gave a title. With some VO, I feel like.
Come back tomorrow, fam.
So that was cool because... But I don't remember. When they showed the Anthem stuff, EA, was it even a trailer or was it literally the title and some VO and they were like, it'll be shown at Microsoft?
I think it was a little...
Like some foliage. I don't think it showed characters or anything.
I don't think it showed really
honestly,
anything.
No, it showed a suit.
Oh,
you didn't know. But the way they showed it, it looked like it was like a giant mech, not Iron Man.
So yeah, it was very ambiguous.
See, I was under the impression that they were like giant mechs.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Well, from what I gather, they're like body suits, but they're not like an Iron Man suit because they're a little bit bigger. Like you don't.
So it's like a Hulkbuster.
Kind of. Like, it's not one-to-one with, like, your human size. But they also mentioned there's different size ones. Like, there is the tanky-looking one that is like the Hulkbuster. Yeah. Then there's the one that's like the Iron Man type.
Do you want to get to that?
Yeah, we'll save that for after. Because, I mean, we can talk about that for a bit. But, so EA, not a whole lot for me personally. Battlefront, cool, but I didn't need to see it that long. There was
no Skate 4, so I didn't give a shit.
I'm going to be real with you. Leading up to that conference, I was like, you know what? I was like, it's been a long time since a Skate game. I was like, that would be a big announcement, I feel like.
Well, that, and there's been a ton of people online like, hey, like, you should make this game. I heard this game is coming. You should come on, make it. Do it again.
People want that game, for sure.
So,
fun.
Skate was awesome.
So, biggest disappointment of EA, would you say no Skate 4?
Absolutely.
I have put here, sports ain't my jam. So that's what I have this morning.
Okay. I can see this. So, biggest highlight
Too much
of
water,
EA, though.
3 out of 10. A way out for me, because Battlefront 2, I already figured what it was going to look like for the most part. Anthem intrigued me, but they told me to come back tomorrow. And A Way Out was actually interesting, and it had a really cool gimmick with the split screen online and on your couch.
This is the Prison Break game?
Prison Break
the game.
I mean, I would agree. Out of EA, I would pick A Way Out also, but only because when the guy started talking, I was like, all right, he's talking about the EA Arts or whatever the fuck they call their program. The same program that brought us
Yarny,
that brought us Unravel, which is very near and dear to the folks on this show.
God, what a good game.
Critically underplayed, I feel like. And I say critically, I mean criminally. Naturally, because critically, it's a really good game, and you can probably get it for like $2 right now. So when they started talking about it, and I was like, oh, now it's not the same studio making A Way Out, but it's the same program at EA that, you know, brings in these indie developers and kind of funds them and all this other shit. So when they started talking about that, I was like, oh, I'm very interested to see what they're going to bring out right now. Then the guy started talking about, oh, it's the team that made Brothers, and I was like, hold on, because I've played that game. And it is also very good. And then they showed the little trailer and stuff, and I was like, I'm already sold.
Yeah, it looked interesting, and just judging from the trailer, seeing gunplay, doing scenarios to get into the laundry room, and it showed both characters getting in there and their different styles of how they play. So it looked really, I don't know, I love the gimmick. I love the split screen gimmick. It's funny too because
with the lead up to before they showed it and like what they were saying and when they mentioned like what the people had worked on before, it's going to sound weird to say, but the game itself looked visually better than I thought it would. If that makes sense. Like it looked like it was a higher budget game than it probably is.
No, I think I'm in the same train of thought here. When you were talking about Brothers, I was expecting a smaller game, maybe, and it looks bigger, and I agree, higher budget than I thought.
It almost looks AAA.
Yeah, it's like double A.
A little
right?
minor league.
Well, it's funny though. It's funny because from stuff I was reading coming out of the show too, like the demos that people were playing of it. I think I read somewhere that they had dropped them in a section of the game for the demo, and they were like, "This is like 5 or 6 hours in," and I was like, "So now you're thinking the game's if 5 or 6 hours in, so what's the game's minimum 6 hours long? That's longer than I thought it would have been. Again, having been like from the people that made Brothers and this whole thing." So I would give that's like my EA Star award. It goes to that.
You get the gold star.
I guess that and the guy who was presenting it, his genuine excitement. He was enthusiastic, and I loved it because the EA conference was filled with the babble they have to do to sell to everyone,
and then just
this man was just passionate, and he loved that he was making this game. He wanted to make this game, and I don't remember his name, and I'm sorry about that, but I saw it, and it was awesome.
It's funny, too, because I feel like EA, more so than any of the other conferences, is kind of like a remnant of what was wrong with the way they used to do these shows, with like the canned dialogue, and it's just so corny, you know what I mean? And as we talk about the other conferences, we'll start to see, like, so EA was pretty much, I think, the only one, Ubisoft to a certain extent, but even not as bad as EA, that was just like, hey, here's a guy on stage talking for a little bit, here's a trailer, here's another random person pretending to be engaged in whatever they're doing. Here's a trail. Like, you know what I mean? Very much what it used to be back in the day. And most other conferences were just like, hey, here's what we're talking about. I'm going to fuck off. Here's a ton of games. I'll see you in a bit.
I'm wondering if they decided they had to show so much Star Wars just to, like, make sure people knew this game was coming. Because they're like, we spent a shitload of money on this license. We're going to really flash this out.
Nah, I mean, I think the people that played Battlefront really liked it, but they knew what it was lacking. So I think as soon as they were like, this one's going to have a campaign and all this other stuff, like, motherfuckers are going to buy that. It's Star Wars. Like, it's going to sell well. My whole thing is they put 30 minutes of multiplayer during their conference, which they could have easily done. Very much like we'll talk about Ubisoft, what they did with Assassin's Creed, and been like, hey, we're playing live demos of multiplayer right now. Here's like a 30-second or a minute-long thing. If you want to see more, after the conference is over, you can go to this place or this website and watch it. Mm-hmm. Like, that would have been so much better.
I thought of my biggest disappointment. It's that they didn't show the other 2 Star Wars games they're working on.
Well, I read about that, too.
They teased them last year, and there was nothing this year.
I don't remember what they are.
I have no idea either. I don't remember.
Well, I read that the reasoning behind it was since Battlefront is coming out soon, like this year, they didn't want to confuse any messaging or anything, so they're just like, we're going to let Battlefront have its time right now, and then
they didn't want anybody to buy Battlefront and be like, wait, this isn't that other game.
Yeah, well, you it's so bad to say, but we talk about it all the time. You have to, when you do certain things, you have to keep like the lowest common denominator general public in mind, and you would be shocked how easily confused some people can be. Like, and I don't mean like, oh, it's kind of stupid. No, I mean like blatant obvious shit, and they're just like, I don't get it.
No, I understand. I used to work retail and sell video games.
Oh, yeah,
I know how fucking your parent that comes in to buy something for their kid, and they're just like, is this the right thing? And you're like, no.
Do you think Grand Theft Auto 5 is okay for my 3-year-old daughter?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I do.
So that's probably going to wrap us on EA. So, all right, EA was EA. Didn't expect much, didn't get much. That's pretty much it. Moving on, the next conference was Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Microsoft, leading into it, there was big stuff. People were like, we're going to finally learn more about Scorpio, what it's called, blah, blah, blah. Which, checking in on the squad's E3 predictions, pretty sure Teeg said it was going to be called the Xbox One X. You're welcome, Internet. Nailed that shit.
But you didn't say it was going to be called Hugs and Kisses, so...
XO.
Also true. So dock me a couple points for that one.
No.
Well, or the fact that the acronym spells Xbox.
It's funny. Well, people are like, oh, I bet you it's because they got so tired of people doing X-Bone. They were like, motherfucker, try it now. Now it's Xbox.
Xbox.
God damn it. They're like, no.
No!
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So we learned about the Scorpio.
All the flops.
All them flops. Dude, they were flopping all over the place out there.
I don't know what it means, but I like it.
I still don't know what it means.
Does anybody else think it kind of looks like a snazzier PS2?
100%, which I don't mind.
It does. I posted right after I saw it. They gave me a smaller VHS player, which is nice compared to the giant one.
Yes.
There.
I looked at it.
That's
So
in my fucking basement.
when they finally showed it, right, and they were like, this is what it looks like, I was like, you know what? I don't mind that. I was like, I like the way that looks. And they were like, it's really small. Because I've seen like a 1S. Like, I don't have one, but I've seen it. And I think that's a pretty good size. And they said this is slightly smaller than the 1S. So I was like, all right, this is perfect. Because I don't want another massive fucking brick like the original OG Xbox One is, which is what we all have.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I was glad when... Then they brought out... I'm not going to remember any of these dudes' names. So Phil Spencer came out. I remember Phil. Everyone knows Phil. He came out and was like, hey, we're going to talk about fucking Scorpio. Boom, 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 whatever. Brought out this other engineer guy, and he went over all that shit. And I was like, guy...
Excited.
Don't know any of what you're talking about, but
not even speaking a normal language
I don't know any of that stuff.
He's like technical specs. I was like, blah blah blah, move on, whatever, right? Yeah. So he finished up. Phil came back out, and as soon as he was like, all right, now we're gonna talk about games, I was like, all right, they're gonna save the price to the end because they're not gonna say it now. He came out. He said they have 42 games in the show. My first thought was, holy shit, that's a lot. My second thought was, how many of these are actually going to pique my interest? And then when he was like 22 games with some form of exclusivity, I was like, again, that's pretty high. But as we would come to find out, the term exclusive, the rules are liquid with this word nowadays.
Hey man, you got to sound better than your competition when they're stomping the mud hole in you a little bit.
See, well... I have thoughts on this whole thing also. Because I think people are so quick to just be like, Sony's doing this, you gotta fucking do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't get ahead by doing X, Y, and Z what the other guy's doing. You know what I mean? You need to find what works for your brand and works for you. Now, again, did Microsoft have a perfect conference? No. There was a ton of games they showed that I personally did not give a fuck about. There were some games in there I thought that they could have cut out to make room for some of the games that they showed in like the indie sizzle reel that they do every year. I would have liked to see more from some of those games, and some of these other things they showed in full length could fuck right off.
I agree with that. I don't remember what it was, but that Cyberpunk one looked really cool.
So the last night, right? That was the right pixel art 80s Blade Runner style. Like that game looked awesome. There has been some controversy with one of the devs with old Twitter's things or whatever. I'm not getting into it because I'm here about that game, not this guy and whatever he's getting into.
You lost me when you said Blade Runner. Nothing happens in that movie.
Give me strength. Yeah, but we're talking about visuals.
I'm going to bring everyone back around. And speaking of visuals, oh my Dragon Ball Fighters Z.
So, this game came out of nowhere on me. One, I didn't know that they were even making it because I don't follow fighting games, as people who listen to the show probably know. And I haven't watched Dragon Ball in years. But they showed this, and I was like, fuck me in my eye sockets.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to buy this thing.
It has the same look as Guilty Gear Xrd or Zerd or however people want to say that. And
which is what I've always loved about I never played Guilty Gear because I shit at fighting games. But I've always been like, man, these games look so good.
Yeah, and it looks awesome. It's a 3v3 fighter, and it just looks crazy.
You know what sold me
like
in
the show
it
come to life.
Was the part where like the trailer cuts and it's Goku and he's like, yeah, and gives a thumbs up to the camera. I was like, that's all I need right there.
If he didn't give that thumbs up, you'd be like, I'm not
if he
sure
didn't
about
thumbs
this.
up, I was gonna be like, I'm on the fence.
Well, this looks like I don't need.
But
to
now
buy
that you
this.
know Goku's in on it, you're cool. You're cool.
I'm just wondering with this game, like, how big is the roster going to be if it's a 3v3?
Well,
I'm very curious
it's funny that you mentioned that because while doing some research about something else today, I came across something on Reddit, somebody talking about apparently the DBZ community is very feverish over this game. So people were like, breaking down what they've done historically with Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball Z games, I can extrapolate that the roster will probably be 20 to 30 characters, but I'm really thinking it's probably going to be 25. And I'm like, your logic seems sound enough to me. All right.
I'm hoping for 30 just because the more the merrier. And there's a
do you
lot
think
of characters to pull from, but I also, if it's got Z in the title, I wonder if they're going to pull from Super at all.
Well, here's my thing is, and again, I don't play a lot of fighters, so I don't know how it works compared to like shooters and stuff. But you got to assume that the more characters they have, the harder it's going to be to balance the roster, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could look at things like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is sort of ridiculously unbalanced.
How many characters are there? It's like 50?
A good chunk. I don't know offhand. There's a good chunk. It really only looks like 3, but...
yeah, it's Mango Sentinel,
yeah.
Magneto, Storm,
and then occasionally Cyclops.
So,
and then you have something with another big chunk of characters with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which was a little more of a balanced playing field. But I think Guilty Gear games in general have a pretty decent balance system. So with those devs on it, it should be good.
But here's my thing: is do you think that now again for me, like if there's 20 characters in this, I'm fine. More than that is all bonus to me. But do you think that it will, like for you guys who are into these fighting games, and Cory especially, you were talking about roster because you have been watching DBZ lately. If there's less than 25 characters in this, do you feel like you're out?
No, because I think from the looks of it, it's not going to be like other Dragon Ball fighting games I've seen in the past, where it's like Goku, Super Saiyan.
Yeah, it looks like
Goku,
there's transformations.
Super Saiyan 2. It sounds like you just transforms and you probably get a little bit of a buff.
I was watching the gameplay. It looks like all the Saiyans start out as Super Saiyan, and Goku went Super Saiyan 3, and then Frieza
went Gold Frieza, right?
Golden.
See,
and
that's the thing too with him turning gold, which makes me think that they'll pull from the Super lineup, because Super is just a continuation of Z. They just changed it in title.
I think they will, because in the last, what was the last Dragon Ball Z game called? Whatever it was called.
Xenoverse 2?
Xenoverse 2, that one. They had Super stuff in there.
There were 56 characters in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
It's too many. It's too many.
Two of them were different versions of Wolverine.
Fuck out of here. But yeah, I mean, it looked gorgeous. That was one of my big takeaways, because I'm all about the visuals, and not even like, oh, it looks super photorealistic. I just want things that look crisp, and if they do something unique with the art style. And when they showed that game, I would literally, and like the way the combat looked, like when and again, I don't know fighters, so maybe I am misreading the situation, but it looked like sort of when another one of your teammates gets tagged in or whatever, they kind of do the thing where they shoot to the middle of the screen and like block each other and jump back, you know what I mean, to start like the round or whatever.
Yeah, that happened from watching the gameplay when you knock a character out, when the next character comes
Yeah,
in.
so it still starts you even, but it gives you like a little animation thing. But watching the footage of the game, I was like, holy shit, this literally looks like the cartoon. Like, the visual effects, like when he shoots the Kamehameha or whatever, you know what I mean? And like, and it's so weird, and maybe it's just me that caught it, and it's just the way my brain is, but the little scene where it showed Goku go Super Saiyan from normal, I remember growing up watching that show exactly how like the energy and kind of smoke swirled around his body like super quick when it happened. And visually in this game, like even it looked like it had fucking animated texture on the smoke. Like it looked like the animation. It was insane to me. And that's when my brain hung on. I was like, holy shit, that smoke looked exactly like the cartoon.
I don't even know where to begin.
He's like, I can't even follow up on this.
It just looks good.
There's a lot of cool stuff, and one of my things I've really enjoyed from watching it and seeing it be played is it has destructible environments in the background. So there's a point in the release trailer where Frieza is just shooting little Kai blasts at Goku, and he's deflecting them, and the hut behind them blows up.
I didn't even catch that.
Well, do you think it's because, so it's a 2D fighter.
Yes, it's 2.5D, so they're 3D model characters, but
on a
2D
plane,
field.
which I like, because the reason why I never really got into like even like the Naruto fighting games, right? Because I love all those characters, but it's 3D, and I like to be able to just, you're fighting here instead of like who's over here. You're always losing track of people and shit. Like I don't like that.
It seems like the arena is a little too big.
Yeah, right. So that's why when they were like, "Oh, it's on a 2D plane fighting," I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, it's literally everything I was like that I would want from them making this game."
To me, it made me think of like a good version of those old Super Nintendo DBZ games. I don't know if either of you ever played those.
What the heck?
I don't know. I mean, I remember we tried to, when I was super young, we
like
tried to get an import like an emulator of some DBZ RPG. I never played fighters.
There was an old one where you could fight Baby, and
That's Dragon Ball GT Final Bout.
Is that the one that was on PlayStation?
There was on PlayStation.
I remember I played that too.
that's what I played.
The thing that's weird about that is there's like some weird like bootleg copies of that were just made in Mexico. So there's versions of that game that are like real deal, and then there's ones that are like these hobo versions.
Awesome.
I like that.
It still runs the same. I remember playing it, and then when our local like Blockbuster like was like, "Oh yeah, we probably won't have this much longer," I'm like, "Let me get that game."
That's exactly what happened
they
to
wouldn't
my
sell it to me.
Blockbuster.
And then someone else bought it, and I'm like, "What the fuck? I wanted to buy that. I could have had it." And then when I go back and look at that game now, I'm like, "Man, this shit is terrible."
Oh yeah.
Some things don't age. So we're all agreeing on DBZ. Was it just Dragon Ball Fighter Z? Looks awesome.
Is it
It should've
Fighter
just been
Z
called-
or Fighters?
It's Fighter-
Because I was like
I-
Fighters with a Z.
I thought there was a space.
There is a space. I am just gonna call it Fighters.
I'm saying Fighters because it got that edge. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
want
it's
to be
like
edgy.
spelling boys with a Z.
I'm just going to call it Marvel 4.
Marvel 4.
They didn't. It wasn't Infinite shown here, right? That was on Sony.
No, that's
So
shown
we'll
during
save that.
Sony. So what else from Microsoft did either of you guys like?
I mean,
I got to
Console-
jog my. I like what they showed for Assassin's Creed,
I agree.
which
I think it
also
looks
now
really
again
good.
we're going to need a ruling on this because one of my other predictions was there will be some form of marketing deal via Xbox with Assassin's Creed and other games like that.
I think it rules in your favor.
So
the thing that
I did think they were going to come out with more than what they did, unfortunately. But-
Because when that was shown, it said something about an exclusive.
well, no,
and-
no exclusive items. It was just it's a marketing deal.
Yeah, I know. I would just wonder if they have more in there that they haven't announced yet that might come with.
I don't know because all the stuff all the interviews I've
Get
seen,
a little gimmick DLC.
well, all the interviews I've seen with Phil Spencer, head of Xbox right now, has said that none of the deals they sign under him, like when he's been leader, is going to have exclusive content because he doesn't want to lock anyone out of something. You know what I mean? It's just going to be marketing deals,
I like that.
which I like. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
the thing for me that kind of was weird for Assassin's Creed when they showed it was like everything in the trailer seemed like normal, and then like Assassin's Creed, and then all of a sudden there's a giant fucking snake. Where the fuck did that come
It
from?
was a little bit weird, but well, my thing is, I wonder if now again,
Ancient
and
times, man.
unfortunately,
Oh, yeah, it was a giant snack.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that I saw somewhere like a mention of like the modern time stuff still being around. Which
God.
I really wish that they would just fuck off with that.
Did either of you play Syndicate?
No.
It
Is that
was
not in there?
It was drizzled in. You never went out, and you never walked around to someone else. Every now and again, you would kind of cut away to a little scene. It would come back, and you'd play. I forgot their names, Evie and Jacob Fry, and I think Syndicate was actually really, really good.
That's what I heard. It's just like I think they could get away with telling this whole story without that shit altogether.
I agree. I think the only thing that needs to be in there is if you walk too far, it gets all electronic-y and like you're disconnecting from something. It's been in there so long, I think it just little things can stay.
Back to what they showed at Microsoft Assassin's Creed. I felt that while it looked good, the animations were a little bit rough, but I do know obviously the game's not fully done yet. They're still finishing things up, so who knows. Also, I wish things were a little bit different because they said they wanted to retool the franchise by taking a couple of years off or whatever, and I felt like, and again, it's not a knock on it because it's like they couldn't. I can imagine they can't do too much because they still want it to be Assassin's Creed, but I felt like it feels a little too samey to me. But I did get vibes of this seemed like Assassin's Creed The Witcher edition is what I texted Cory. Because I definitely got those vibes, like, just kind of from the way he was moving through the town and the thing they mentioned with, like, different side quest kind of things and stuff like that. I was like, all right, we'll see how this goes. But I like the setting. I think the character design looks cool. I mean, controlling the bird, I don't know, it's all right.
Yeah, that reminded me of Far Cry.
Yeah.
A little bit for Far Cry Primal.
Far Cry
It had,
Caveman Edition had you jumping
yeah.
into the eyes of a bird.
Yeah, had little vibes of that, and then, every game needs a little spice of Dark Souls in it, so they got the little Dark Soulsy combat, it looked like, where...
Yeah, he's like, he can parry now, and I was like, yeah, but...
They had dodges and everything, and if you're playing on it, right bumper or R1 would be a light attack, and right trigger or R2 would be a heavy attack, and that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know, I'm interested. I'll probably check it out when it comes out. I think it looks pretty cool.
Currently, I'm sold. If anything else gets shown that I don't like, I'm easy
You might
to
have to-
hold off on it. But I think that I think Egypt is a really good spot for an Assassin's
Well,
Creed.
the biggest thing I wanted to
Just
see.
wondering when.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just wondering when Assassin's Creed Ninja is going to show up.
I don't understand. They hinted at in the first game stuff about like Japan and shit, and then they just never went there.
They're just like, that's too easy. We don't want to
And
do that. We know that's what you want.
People saw
but
the
we're not
hints.
gonna do that.
Yeah, people saw the hints and were like, "Hell yeah, fucking Samurai's Ninja Assassin's Creed's gonna be awesome." And they're like, "Yeah, you want this, but fuck off. We're gonna go over here." But one thing I wanted to say was, the one thing I really wanted to see, because visually in my mind I could see this, and I was glad that they threw it like right in the beginning of the trailer. I wanted to see this dude bombing it down the side of a pyramid, and that was in there. I was like, all right.
Look like Chris Angel doing
But yeah, I mean, it looks cool.
Just gliding down the Luxor.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I'm not kidding. I saw it, and that's what I thought.
I think for me,
I've been to that hotel, and that would probably be hot as shit to do.
I think for me, the biggest thing is about Assassin's Creed is going to be whether I pick it up at all, first off, but whether I get it at release or later. And I think it's going to solely depend on what else is coming out or is out when it launches.
Buying an Assassin's Creed game at launch, though, is kind of dangerous, because usually what happens is you buy it, and then like a week or so later, it's $40, and you're like, motherfucker.
That's a lot of games now.
I know.
It's a lot of games now. You're doing the gamble on if they're going to go on
Which
sale
I don't
or not.
pay. Like, I mean, we've had discussions about this, right? Like, oh, I'll wait for it's on sale. Generally, I don't fuck with that, because like if I just want to play something, I'm going to play it whenever it's out. But there is some credence to that, but I think it all comes down to what else I'm playing at the time. So if I have in like a drought period when Assassin's Creed's on, which spoiler it probably won't be, because I think Destiny 2 is out like a month before Assassin's Creed's supposed to be out.
Oh god.
So
I'm such a loser. I requested off work for that.
Oh my god.
see, and then this is what you do. I didn't do that, but I'm like, no, don't worry about it. My work's done for the day. See you later. I'm in there.
There you go.
But so they showed Assassin's Creed, which was cool. They showed it. I'm trying to, like, my brain. They didn't really have much things that were like first party Xbox games, which this is what my biggest concern for the conference was, because I was like, I don't know what they're gonna have that are like true exclusives, because the way in my brain I'm comparing it is, you get like Sony, they have the deal with From Software to have Bloodborne exclusive over there. They got Neo exclusive over there. You know what I mean? They have all these games that are not Sony developed, but they have the deal to be exclusive over there.
Is Metro Exodus on both?
Yes, that is multi-platform
Okay,
also.
Metro Exodus on both. So the exclusives would be Sea of Thieves
Which,
and Crackdown 3, which we've both seen before.
and State of Decay 2.
I forgot about State of Decay.
Which, again, State of Decay, cool if you're a fan of those games.
Never played.
Didn't play the first one. This new one didn't hook me in, so I'm not going to play it, probably.
It sounds like another zombie type game that I've had my fill on.
Well,
zombies.
the thing about State of Decay, I guess, is it's more of like a...
It's more the survival aspect of it.
Yeah, like you got to build up your place, right? Like kind of like the new Horde mode in Gears, where you like have to build stuff, but you have to like, which I guess is cool if is a different take on zombies. But again, just what they showed didn't grab me, and I'm like, I didn't play the first one. I'm probably gonna skip it. Sea of Thieves was not sold on this game when they showed it before. Still not sold on it now. Don't think it looks fun. Think it looks terrible.
I'm on the opposite end here.
Yeah, I think Chris is on the different side.
Which is totally fine. I'm not saying
awesome.
like you're an idiot if you like it. To me, I watched the demo, and I was like, and you know me, if a game has like co-op shit, I'm usually right in there.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, I don't like the art style just because that's Rare's thing. It's not for me. Then
I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna talk in accents, and I'm gonna role play a pirate, and that game's gonna be amazing.
well, there you go. And if you can have that experience, that's great. So it's there for somebody. But I looked at it, I watched it, and I was like, this is not the game for me. There's people
I don't
out
think
there.
that was a very exciting trailer.
Well,
I think the best part of the trailer was the voiceover and the humor it had, but that's not going to be there in the game. That's going to be up to you.
Yeah,
and your buddies.
and the thing for me was they showed they're like, all right, now we're gonna like they pull out the guns to shoot the skeletons.
It didn't look good.
Which the gun, I was like, this looks not awesome. That doesn't look like fun combat. And then I was like, can you get a sword, or is it only guns?
I don't remember if anyone pulled out a sword or not.
the fuck kind of pirate game doesn't have swords?
That's what I'm saying, though.
know.
Like they could have easily showed the one dude shoot one skeleton and then pull a sword out / another one. But instead, it was just like click.
They were focused on getting that booty, and that's good to me.
So yeah, so Sea of Thieves again. If you're into it, you're into it. I am not, so I was like skipping over that. And then I felt personally that the conference sort of like it started out shit hot. Like they showed Assassins, they showed Metro, which Metro looked awesome.
That trailer was incredible.
Showed some really nice detailed cars in Forza.
So you showed, well, again, they got to show Forza. That's like the flagship. Like, look how beautiful our console can run shit. It's Forza. All right, cool.
We all know I love cars, so.
I don't fucks with cars, so I don't.
Cars.
But then I felt like it started out really good and then sort of like dipped down, and towards the middle of it, they started to show some stuff that I just didn't really care about personally. Super Lucky's Tale, I guess I don't know if that's exclusive for. I was like, why is this even in here?
It was a Kinect game before. That is an exclusive.
But I felt like that
was a VR game.
Yeah, it was a VR game.
VR?
Yeah, it was Oculus.
May have been VR.
It was
Kinect.
Oculus. I think.
It's something I don't own.
Something I don't care about.
So they showed that, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, whatever. And then they did
the game's not for me.
Yeah, not for me. Then they finally showed Cuphead again with a release date, so that's hype because I've been wanting to play that game for
I forgot
fucking
about
years.
Cuphead.
Plus, that fox only has one tail.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When they showed it
fuck outta
first,
here.
I was like, holy shit. I was like, what are we getting here? And then it was like, it's there. I was like, fuck me. But I get why they're going to make those games because it looks like a challenging platformer, but obviously skewed towards younger kids. And I'm all for games that are for kids that don't undermine their intelligence, you know what I mean?
You ever notice, like, lately with, like, the more just... Maybe it's just I don't pay attention to it, but it just doesn't seem like on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One that there's many games that are, like, kid-oriented.
No, I don't think... Well, I think it's... I think Nintendo
They're
owns
just like,
that
hey,
market
kid,
share.
you're like 12. You like Call of Duty, right? Here, shoot these guys in the face and say racist stuff online.
A lot of the time, it's just that those games don't get the big spotlight. Like, a new Cars game seriously just came out.
Yeah.
Because I just went and looked at stuff, and in being at GameStop, there is a lot of stuff that you just saw get puked out for children.
But again, this goes back to the argument, though, is I think you also don't see a lot of those games featured anywhere because, like you said, most of them come out and they're just kind of shit out. They're like, here's a license thing, whatever. Like, that's why, while this Lucky's Tale game's not for me, I can appreciate it because having looked at it, I was like, this looks like a competent 3D platformer for a kid. That's not going to be like, hey, you're a kid, so here's this game that's super easy. It's, hey, you're a kid, here's a game that's kind of challenging. You know what I mean? Figure it out.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate. Not for me. I'm not going to play it or buy it, but I'm glad that it's there for somebody.
I only have two other things written down on my likes, and that would be Ori 2, which I think was Will o' the Wisps, and then Anthem.
Ori 2, very excited, got announced. Didn't beat the first one, played a lot of it.
So good.
And it was very, very good. So I'm glad it got a second one. Looked gorgeous, obviously. I mean, first one looked gorgeous. We mentioned Cuphead already. I believe this release date was September 23rd or right around there.
It's in that ballpark.
Yeah, it's September, like towards the back half of September.
I forgot that was even a game.
Which again, I'm psyched about. I am a little concerned because I remember initially it was just a boss rush game and people really enjoyed it, but they wish there was more like levels. Then they went back and added platforming levels, and initial impressions were these are not good. Like it didn't feel good to play. So, but again, that was like we're talking about a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe at this point. So hopefully they kind of work that out. I'm excited to play it. I'm gonna buy it because I think it looks incredible.
Day one for me.
So, and if it's fucking co-op platform and shit, I'm in there. Looked great. We mentioned Metro already. They kind of, like I said, they kind of petered out. They showed the indie sizzle reel, which I wish I could remember more stuff from there. But there were a couple things in there that looked good. I don't remember if Ashen was shown in the sizzle reel or if they showed it on its own. But this was a game that
I feel like that was shown on its own.
they showed a couple years ago, I think it was at this point, and then it kind of went away for a while, and then it's shown up again this year, which is sort of that. No, there's the characters are kind of like voxels, like 3D models in a dungeon. It looks like co-op, Dark Souls-y, which I was super high on that game when they showed it years ago. We're still super excited about it. They showed Code Vein, which was another one I thought was weird to be at Microsoft, which is like the Bandai being like, hey, we've published Dark Souls games for the last few years.
Yes.
Now we're going to make an anime one. Personally,
Get them.
Why not?
like, I guess if that's what you're into, but I did, because for me, I was like, listen, if the combat's like Dark Souls and it plays good, I'll play it. I did watch a gameplay demo after, Now again, it does look a little bit like it, but it looks more like a typical hack slash adventure instead of the Dark Souls like slow kind of heavy combat. So jury's out. I'll have to wait and see more on it.
They got to speed it up for that weeb action.
Yeah, but they
got to lure some of them away.
Well,
from
the thing is, I was surprised that they showed it honestly, because when it was first announced and like teased a while ago, I was like, this will probably be multi-platform, but this is going to be like a shown on Sony. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like. So I was surprised. Listen, it's a good get for Microsoft. If it shows that they're building up more relationships with Japanese developers, that's fine. I'm trying to think of the last night we touched on a little bit. Was super gorgeous looking pixel art. Go check it out if you didn't see the trailer for it.
Didn't Microsoft also show Battlegrounds?
Yes, that's a huge
PUBG.
one.
PUBG,
Which
completely forgot about.
I don't think I made a prediction about Battlegrounds, but I'm sure we've talked about it before because there have been talks that it's coming to console. And again, this was the one that again gets very confusing with what's exclusive, what's console exclusive, what's not. And I believe they announced Battlegrounds as a console launch exclusive, which, if my understanding is correct, means that the first console it will be on is Xbox, and then it's up to them to be like, all right, they're going to put it out on PlayStation, or they're going to do this, that, and the other. Battlegrounds is a game that, while I don't play games on PC, but I've watched a couple streams of it, and I've seen some videos. It looks super fun, looks very interesting. So I'm psyched for this to come to console so we can fucking jam it with the boys.
I like it's got a little bit of like a clunkiness to it, and I kind of like that.
It's got a lot of clunk.
Well, what I ended up seeing after the conference was, so this is going to be coming out on Xbox, the game preview first, it looks like. So I don't know if I've messed with some stuff on there. Essentially, like you buy it's like in development, but you can
It's like
try it
that
out,
art
like
game.
demo it. So you can
there's also
demo
a
it,
free
and
trial,
then
so.
if you, for a certain amount of time, and if you like it, you can buy it outright, and you'll just keep playing it while they develop it, put updates out, and then when it's finally released, you just get it. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited to play it. Like I said, I know from my knowledge of the PC version, you can either queue up solo or in groups of 4, maybe duos too. I don't remember.
I think you could do 1 through 4.
Yeah, or maybe 1 through 4, so you can do whatever you want. But it's 100 people in there, and it's the last people left alive win. If you're in a group,
You gotta
or
get that
last
chicken
one.
dinner.
Yeah, get that chicken dinner. Also, a thing that came out after the conference was that they're gonna be releasing a playable zombie mode also. So player-controlled zombies in the world too. Which
I'm wondering if you're gonna be like super slow, or you're gonna be like.
I mean, it looks like they
28
can.
days later.
Yeah, it looks like they can run around a bit, which I think you would have to, because if the player can run with guns, like you're gonna have to be able to move. But my only concern was I didn't want this to be in every mode, but it sounds like it's its own mode, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, I think that was a big get for Microsoft. That game is shit hot right now, and people were excited when they announced that. But again,
It's really popular with streaming people too.
yeah, but again, the only thing that sucked about it was people kind of knew about it already before the conference. Some people, not everyone, but some people. So it kind of like, it was a surprise that wasn't super surprising.
It was in talk before, but it was nice to see confirmed.
Get that confirmation.
on stage.
Yeah, and I believe they said late this year, or was it
think so.
early next year?
I think it's later this year.
Later this year.
Because I feel like Microsoft tried anyways to most of the stuff they showed was coming out relatively soon. They didn't show much that was really far off.
Yeah, it was a good mix. You want to touch on Anthem and go to Bethesda after that?
Yeah, so Anthem closed.
Super suits.
Yeah, Anthem closed the show out at Microsoft, which is the new game from BioWare.
Yes.
Which is, from what I can tell, looks like a third-person action open-world game, kind of very much like a Destiny, to me anyways. But you get these mech suits they call Javelins, I believe they were called. Looks
I didn't catch
gorgeous.
the name. Oh my god!
It looks really good. But again, I don't know how far off this game is. I don't know if it's actually going to look like this when it's released.
It said early 2018, which is with BioWare games.
Could be.
Who knows?
Could be anything.
Could be anything.
But this is another game that is multi-platform but has the marketing rights with Microsoft, a la like how Destiny has with PlayStation. However, there is exclusive stuff with Destiny, which I don't think this game is going to have stuff like that. It looks really good. They didn't. It's funny because they showed a in quotes gameplay demo of it, which is probably in engine or whatever, and stuff was happening. But it's obviously a vertical slice of that game. Like when he's flying, the wildlife is just perfectly running underneath him. Like it's a representation of things that can happen in the game, sort of all happening in one scenario. But it looked really good. I like the design of the mechs. It looks turns out to be good, I'll be glad to jump in there once again with the boys.
I love the art direction. The facial animation was great. You cruising through the air, running on the ground. I love the design of the legs. They had almost like a deer leg on the bottom of the mech. It did a little interesting thing, and then you even dove into the water,
which I thought was really cool because he's like flying in the sky, underwater, then out and running on the ground. So it's like you get that.
Usually, if you're in a mech, you get water is bad news.
Well, you never know. Yeah,
not for this guy.
Showed that. It was a lady.
Oh, lady. Excuse me.
A lady in the first one.
There was a guy in the big one.
You just assumed that it was a guy.
Well, no. This actually brings me to another point that I liked about it, though, was. It was a lady, a female character in the main suit that they followed, but the armor didn't look like, oh, this is a typical video game woman's armor. You know what I mean?
I actually
what you're saying is the robot didn't have titties.
Yeah.
No, which is ridiculous when you see all these games like, here's female armor, and it's literally like a bra and panties of metal, and then they're naked. Like, this is retarded. Excuse me, don't say retarded anymore. I apologize.
It's okay.
But this is stupid, right? Like, no, it's armor is armor. A mech is a mech. It doesn't matter if it's a lady or a man in it. Or whatever you want to identify yourself as. You're in an armor suit,
that's all
right?
I care.
Yeah, does it whoop ass? And it looks like it did because it had the little Iron Man shoulder rocket thing fucking popped out and laid waste to a bunch of these aliens out there.
Yeah, the best part about it was the horrible voice acting by the people pretending to play the game.
Oh... I was kind of hoping we weren't going to get any of that. Like, just play it, don't talk.
I loved it, though.
There was a moment where she picked up, like, a named weapon, very much like Destiny, like, exotic type thing. A thing that was intriguing to me was they had mentioned that each player, you're going to own multiple mech suits, like, multiple different ones. So, and that they're all customizable via weapons, and it seemed like visually also, which I'm a huge proponent of character customization and all that stuff. That's why I like a lot of these games. So if you're going to let me make my own Iron Man suit and look kind of however I want, that's awesome.
I wonder if you could spray paint things on it.
That'd be tight. My only thing I don't know, because I haven't played the newest Mass Effect, which I know has problems, but the one thing I keep reading is the shooting and the combat is good in Mass Effect, because that's the one thing I don't know.
I did not play that. I didn't play any of those games because they're stupid.
I suffered through it because I love Mass Effect 1 through 3. The only blessing I will say from this is that was a different part of BioWare working on that.
Well, this is the original team, right? Like, 3, and they scooted off.
After they got done with Mass Effect 3, they started working on Anthem.
So, but I mean, if the combat in the new Mass Effect is good, people were saying this looks kind of like that. So if the shooting wise,
it didn't have anything reminiscent to me from what I saw, but it wasn't too much that was shown.
Yeah, so hopefully it's good. But so that was the last game they showed, and then they announced the that's the Doggo's excited about Anthem too.
Yeah, he was very excited. Doggo approves of Anthem.
So then they announced the price for the now known Xbox One X at $499, which higher than I would have liked, but not. I don't think is so high that it's ridiculous. Like, for what you're getting, $499 is totally fair. But I went into
completely.
it believing that they wanted to be more competitive with Sony than I think they actually are. So I was like, this thing's coming out $399.
I had a weird pipe dream of $399 as well, but with seeing all the rumors for $699, I was starting to get scared. And I think $4.99 is solid.
I think $4.99 is fair for sure, like what you're getting. And then, well, the thing for us, I talked to Cory about it like during the day because the initial rumors were, oh shit, they just announced a permanent price drop for the S, and then it turns out that was only for the week down to $199 or whatever. $200. So it's going to be $249, which I believe they're making the S like the base model. I think they're just phasing out OG Xbox One X. I mean, Xbox
Get rid of
One.
the clunk.
Yeah, like they're just essentially, if you're going to want to get the entry point console, is the S, which I think is great, honestly, because all the stuff I've read about it, it's a really good machine. Like it's sort of in between like the Pro and the baseline PS4, which is good. And if it's only $249, like that's nice. So $499 again, $100 more than I was hoping, but I don't like. Me and Cory, I think we talked about it on the show a long time. Like, I was going to get one anyways because I want to upgrade my fucking giant OG Xbox One.
Mine's chugging, man.
Yeah, every time I launch
PS4 Pro.
Overwatch, it's like, wars up. I'm like, all right, is tonight going to be the night? So, yeah, I'm going to upgrade it for sure. The one thing that did surprise me was not available for pre-order yet, which turns out it's only because, like, they're still waiting on FCC approval and all that stuff, so, that takes time. But I wish that they would have handled that sooner, only because I think I don't think you're going to lose out on a ton of sales, but I think people coming out of the conference, you're hyped up, you're like, shit, I'm going to go pre-order this right now. You know what I mean? And I think some of those people, they might take that time and be like, maybe I don't need it, maybe I will get the S, etc., etc. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to probably pre-order as soon as it goes up, and I'll have one when it releases November 7th.
I'll definitely have one. I just hope they have a version where one side's blue and one side's red. I just had to for fun.
I was kind of hoping too at that price that they were going to be like, and it comes with the Pro controller or whatever, the Elite
controller. There was rumors about that too, though. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot. Like right before this conference started, there was a ton of shit all of a sudden started happening, like rumors. But yeah, I mean that was Xbox conference in a nutshell. I thought it was a pretty good show. I mean, it didn't really drag. Like, granted, there were a bunch of games that I didn't personally care about, but they kept it moving. They showed a ton of games. They didn't bog you down with a bunch of the bullshit like you got at the EA conference. And they kind of just moved on, did their thing. So, and apparently, again, I haven't looked at these articles or whatever, but allegedly the most, like, socially trending conference of the show was Xbox. So whether that's true or not, I mean, sounds pretty good, I guess.
Solid B plus for me. Solid B+.
Yeah. Anthem probably my highlight of the show for Xbox. But yeah, so what was next? Ubisoft, was that next?
No,
Bethesda.
That's right. That was at night. Bethesda was at night.
And for me, the only thing that stuck to me was the two new games. Well, I mean, they showed off the Dishonored Death of the Outsider, which is a DLC.
Yeah.
They showed off, Elder Scrolls Online, the Elder Scrolls card game. The two things for me that stuck out a lot that I loved was Evil Within 2. I love Evil Within.
Never played it. I always thought it looked good, but I'd never played it.
It's awesome.
It was a bomb-ass trailer, though.
I love that game. I love the trailer. That's my most anticipated game this year is Evil Within.
So Bethesda's an interesting one because,
they treated you like a child.
Well, here's my look on this. Now, because I saw a ton of people online being like, Bethesda's conference was dog shit. It was terrible, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't feel that way. I
love that it was quick. It was quick.
Watched the Bethesda one, and I was like, I like this. Pete Hines, always entertaining. Seems like a cool guy to, hang out with, whatever. He came out, he was like, hey, here with Bethesda, boom, 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 it's been great. Here's a bunch of shit. I'm out. I like, the only thing that obviously you would have liked to see more surprises, but I think they tempered that going in because people saw the Bethesda land stuff and they were like, all right, there's only 2 things under construction, so, and then it's not hard to figure out with Bethesda like kind of what those were going to be.
And on stage he even said everything you see today will be out this year,
which I again appreciate.
That was my favorite thing he said, and that's also going to, the games that are going to come out next year, you'll see them next year.
Yeah.
They want to give you that Fallout 4 feel of, holy shit, it's Fallout 4, and then you go, oh my god, I can play it in 6 months.
Yeah, which I like. I mean, we've talked about it a ton of times on this show. Don't show me something if it's not out for fucking 2 years.
Yeah, we'll get to that
Like,
later.
fuck off Square Enix. Oh, we will, because that was I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
So Bethesda, my thing is, so a lot of people shitting on it because they didn't show me anything. For me, I was like, it was tight. Even the games they showed that aren't things I was interested in, they didn't linger on it that long. They were kind of moving through, banging shit out.
It's hard to show VR. Fallout 4 VR, it looks like you're playing regular Fallout 4, but in VR.
Yeah,
and then Doom VFR has the teleporting movement, and they completely redid everything for VR, and it looks cool, but it's really hard to show off VR unless you put it on and experience it.
But so the most interesting thing for me from Bethesda was Wolfenstein 2, and this is because
cast of characters.
So that trailer was awesome. But the biggest thing for me, and this is, I think, is a credit to their presentation and the way they showed it and how that trailer was cut, was I never played the New Order, which was the first one in this. I just heard people said it was good, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, but I don't know. Like, it just didn't, jive for me. But after watching that trailer, I was like, holy shit, I want to play that game. So now I went and bought the New Order for $20 on Xbox and have been playing it, and it's awesome. And it's so good that I'm like, holy shit, now I'm even more excited for the second one because it's all the same team coming back. And I'm like, if they're knocking this one out of the park, this one looks even better. So I'm fucking fully sold on that. Evil Within, again, here's the thing with Evil Within. I didn't play the first one, probably not going to play it before this, so I probably won't play the second one. But I'll tell you what I am going to do is I'm going to watch somebody else play it, most likely, in some fashion.
Isn't that kind of nice? The fact that we have the availability to do that now, like a Let's Play video.
Yes.
Like at first, I'm like, why would I want to watch somebody else play a game? But now I'm like,
they're pretty sweet.
I don't really have the time to go back and play through a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes
I'm
you
gonna
don't
watch
have
somebody
the time.
play this so I can see what's going on. Because you could do that shit while you're working or drawing or doing whatever.
Well, for
still
me,
get the gist of what happened in the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have the time and or the money to spend.
Yeah,
Maybe you just don't want to spend $60 at the moment.
Like for me, a lot of it is like if I haven't played a game, I know I'm not gonna go back and play it, but I kind of want to know about it, like the story and stuff. I'll watch somebody play it and be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. That's what it's about." All right, cool. But yeah, so Evil Within, it looked cool. That trailer was shit hot.
It's really cool to me that you enjoyed it because I am, like I said, Evil Within, one of my favorite games in the past couple of years. Evil Within 2, my most anticipated game this year now that it's announced. And as someone who hasn't played it, that it resonated with you makes me really happy.
Oh yeah, dude. I went on Google and I was like, where can I get the song for that trailer? Turns out you can't. Bethesda, get on it. Put that shit out there.
And then just all the personality that Wolfenstein
had
was
It was
awesome.
like, here's a ragtag team of dudes. I was like, I want to play with this.
Amazing. Pregnant woman with twins stabbing a Nazi while a man does acid.
Awesome.
I believe he said that was fucking bananas, and that was beautiful.
Yeah. And like you mentioned already, all the stuff coming out this year, which I love, love, love. They were like, no, everything we showed is out this year. And not even that far. Like, Wolfenstein and Evil Within both out in October.
Oh yeah, they out Friday the 13th.
Yeah. So
yeah, October 13th, which is a Friday for a spoopy game. Awesome.
Very spoopy.
So I would say Bethesda, pretty solid conference in my opinion. Highlight for me personally, Wolfenstein. So
yeah, mine's obvious. Evil Within.
I would say that too, but that was because everything else they showed, I was like, I don't give a shit really about VR.
Yeah.
I definitely don't care about Skyrim. And I really don't give a shit about Fallout 4.
It'll be on your
Skyrim, the game that literally will never die. It's coming out everywhere again.
Oh, I love it.
So, next conference was Ubisoft.
As Ubisoft,
right?
yes.
I have mixed emotions.
Mario XCOM.
I have mixed emotions about this Ubisoft conference.
I'm
One,
on the hype train.
really surprised that Rabbids Mario game looked as good as it did. I'm not going to play it.
I will.
Because I don't play XCOM and like the combat, like it's not how I don't enjoy those type of games. But I thought they were gonna show it and I was like, this is gonna look like a steaming pile of shit. It didn't.
Yeah.
It looked really good. You follow
I'll be the test
around
dummy.
the fucking.
I'm gonna follow that Roomba.
Yeah, the
I'm
rabbit
gonna follow
Roomba.
that Roomba around.
So, like, good on them. They opened the show with that. And what I did like about the Ubisoft conference was you really got the sense of genuine passion that a lot of these guys had talking about the games they were making. They showed that fucking dude in the audience looked like he was about to cry when Miyamoto was like, we work with them, because he's like the producer of that game.
Yeah.
Like, good on you, man. You know how long this dude probably grew up loving Mario. And now he made this game, and Miyamoto was like, this is
now
awesome.
he gets to ruin it. I'm kidding. I hope it's
so, like, good on you for that.
Why didn't they just do like a Mario Rayman team up? Like, do they not give a shit about
because
Rayman?
just like the Minions took over. And
Yeah, the rabbits have become
the rabbits
like,
have taken
Minions,
over.
the
man.
Tweety Bird of
So
2017.
Rayman's gonna come back in the next Rayman. He's gonna have a brother, just like that Despicable Me 3.
Well, I'll tell you, I thought for sure we were going to see a new Rayman because it's been so long since Legends. I feel like.
Yeah, it's been a few years. I'd love another side scroller Rayman.
Yeah, Legends is awesome.
Those games are awesome.
You're probably gonna have to murder a rabbit, or maybe there's gonna be a scene in this where Mario like loves on that thing, and then people are just gonna be like, "Get rid of it."
So they opened the show with Mario Rabbids, which I think a lot of people assumed they were going to do because they didn't. I figured it was going to be talked about there, and not at Nintendo because Nintendo's thing they came out and were like, "We're only doing for 25 minutes." So I was like, "All right, they're going to handle the Rabbids shit over here." Obviously they talked about Assassin's Creed more.
Showed more. It's a little more stuff. Looked good.
They did an odd thing where they were like, "We're going to be demoing after," and they put the camera. They held a camera looking at a screen, playing it off the screen.
Yeah, in the daylight
Yeah.
with the sun shining, so you couldn't see anything.
Granted,
Don't know why
at
they
least
did
it wasn't
that.
fucking 30 minutes like they did with Battlefront at EA, but still,
Yes,
I was
they
like, this is an odd choice.
They straight up said, after our conference, stick around. We'll be doing this gameplay, and it'll be live footage. It won't be the view of the screen.
Yeah.
They let you know that. Super cool. Showed more Far Cry 5.
Which,
So-
I'll tell you, the Far Cry 5 thing threw me for a loop here, because before
Too real?
E3, I was like, oh shit. I was like, Far Cry kind of a little bit different, like maybe, because the vibe I got from like, oh, it's the Southern cult in America, I was like, man, alright, they're taking a little more serious tone with this game, it's going to be a little more sketchy. And then the E3 demo was like, you're meeting these characters, and they're all like, hell yeah! And I was like, well, alright, now it's a little more jokey, like classic Far Cry. Not a problem, but I felt like I had gotten so interested in a more serious toned Far Cry that I was a little taken aback with the characterization of some of these other people. Whether I'll play it or not, I have no idea. I've played the last few Far Cries, enjoyed them, a bit, so who knows?
I might give it a shot.
Yeah.
It sounds interesting. I really like the setting.
The last Far Cry I played was the Caveman one, and
I gave up halfway through that.
that was not fun.
Primal was rough, but Far Cry 4 was the one with Pagan Min.
Yeah.
Far Cry 4 was awesome. And Far Cry 3, I didn't play the main game, but I played Blood Dragon, and that was the balls.
You can flip people off whenever you want.
So, but I think this Far Cry falls into the same spot I have Assassin's Creed at, which is it's going to solely depend on what is out when it releases that I'm playing. And it might be a game like I did with Far Cry 4. I pick it up 6 months later when I'm kind of looking for something. I'm like, oh shit, I never played this Far Cry. Let's check that out.
Was there anything else on Ubisoft anyone liked?
Um,
Because I really can't remember anything else besides that sweet dance number.
Yeah, I mean, they showed, obviously, Dance Revolution or whatever, they had to show that shit. They talked about Steep getting some content, which I was like, well, that's weird. I thought that game was dead.
Good for them. Oh, Crew 2?
Crew 2, again.
I don't care about it.
Don't
I'm
care
just
about
saying
that.
things.
Felt their demo went on a little bit long.
Fractured Butthole.
South Park.
South Park.
I didn't play the Stick of Truth. I heard it was really good.
Talking about games you should go play.
I don't like turn-based RPGs. Can't
Do you like South Park?
Nah.
All right, move along.
Exactly, that sort of thing. There was too many barriers to entry for me on that game.
A little fugazi on that one.
But I mean, it looks good. All the people I talked to that liked Stick of Truth, they're like, "Holy shit, this looks awesome!" So probably gonna be good. They also made sure the release. They're like, "It is October. Who knows with the South Park games that could easily change again." The biggest thing for me was I really started getting. I was texting Cory too. I was like, "Fuck, man, this might be the year they bring back Splinter Cell." Nothing. I was heartbroken at the end of that conference.
Oh, speaking of bringing back things, apparently it's time for Ubisoft to do another trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Which, first off, in my opinion, didn't even look that awesome. People losing their mind.
no.
And I'm
I'm
like,
on the opposite here. Space Monkey got me hype.
I was watching it and I was like, "What? This doesn't even like it." All right, whatever.
It's the nostalgia getting everyone who played Beyond Good and Evil.
But I think it's
and
funny
enjoyed it,
because,
and
I think it was your Facebook that I commented on. I was like, "You're not gonna see this game till 2020 minimum."
yeah,
I mean,
did
even see they said
even remember
what
what
it
it
said
said.
was sign up at our website to help us develop this game. And then another thing that people didn't take away
Jesus.
was in the Vidoc they showed in the background, they're spinning around baseline, untextured, unpainted character models. That is so early. That game is That you got a better shot of seeing Final Fantasy 16 before you see Beyond Good and Evil.
That at least hasn't been announced yet. But Beyond Good and Evil 2, the first trailer was in 2008. I just wanted to... So...
Bruh, people thought The Last Guardian wait was bad? Buckle in.
Yeah. Duke Nukem Forever to eat your heart out.
Do you remember that game, though? Do you remember we were at PAX, and they had it after so many years, and they showed it, and I was like, that looks like dog shit. And you've had fucking 20 years or whatever.
20 years and like a million different developers.
Ugh.
I think they just... what is that, Bethesda that had there, or was that Gearbox?
Gearbox.
I think they just bought it, and then we're just like, we're putting this out. Who gives a shit? Just so we can be like, hey, we put this out. Look it. We made it happen.
Yep. So, yeah, but outside of those, I mean, nothing really at Ubisoft that jumped out at me. I thought the conference was okay. But Ubisoft, to me, they have their hands in so many different pots that it was much like EA to me. Like, there was going to be a lot there that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a decent conference, but...
Just jump onto Sony?
Yeah, Sony is next. Sony was, I think, I think on a whole, this E3, the conferences were good, not great.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people were holding out like, oh, Sony's going to drop the fucking hammer, though. It's going to be amazing. Speaking of Sony, they did show a lot of games that I was like, man, these all look good. But none of these fucking games had anywhere near a release date. They were like 2018. Most didn't have anything.
They're just like coming eventually.
I posted a thing about it saying it's really hard for me to get hyped about a game being shown to release in 2 to 3 years. Yeah. There are certain things. I loved the way God of War looks.
Yep.
I really want that game.
Well, from what I read about God of War from people that did like behind closed doors and stuff,
okay,
it looks very, very far along. So a lot of people believe it's going to be very early next year. So not too far, but still, it would have been nice to get more dates.
Also, on the same time, I will say, if you need to take longer on your game, take it.
Yes.
Rockstar needed it on Red Dead 2, and take all the time you need, because when God of War comes out, I want it to be awesome. I want it to be complete. I don't want it to be rushed because you wanted to get it out holiday 2017.
My only concern for God of War, if it is going to release early 2018, that is also when Red Dead is supposed to release. Early 2018.
Yeah. Well,
if they come out near each other, rip God of War.
Yeah.
Cowboys versus Angry Beard Guy.
But that said, what they showed from God of War looked really good. I thought it looked great last year. A big thing for me with Sony was no real surprises. All the games we saw outside of Shadow of the Colossus getting the remake treatment.
There was 2, Monster Hunter Worlds and the Shadow of the Colossus remake.
So Shadow of the Colossus remake, which awesome. I love that game.
In the VR stuff.
Which shout out Moss, that VR game. I know a kid that's working on it, so he's super psyched about it. So shout out. Good on him.
Back to the God of War thing for a second. Am I imagining it when I thought I saw a part where he threw his axe at something and then while still fighting, like had to go pick it up?
No, he like 4 hammers it.
He Thored it.
See, I wasn't sure. Like there was a point where it looked like it was on the ground or it might have been an enemy weapon, and I wasn't sure. And then like 2 seconds later, it was back in his hand, and I was like, "Did he Thor that?"
Yeah, he did. He Thored it, and
so do you think with this series now, like after they do like 3 or 4 more of these games where he's like killing Norse gods, he's gonna move on to like Asian mythology?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be
so it's just gonna like
if I'm being honest with you,
kills the religious.
If I'm being honest with you, I would love that. Honestly, I would be in for that. Because the thing for me is...
As long as his beard gets longer.
The thing for me, what I took away from the God of War things that they've showed so far was they are really doubling down on having an actual story and Kratos be an actual character instead of just an angry guy running around killing shit.
Getting
you know what I mean?
Get red orbs.
And from stuff I was reading, people were saying too, like the way they're trying to do some very interesting stuff with this game. They want the whole game to flow as like a continuous camera shot, like... No real cuts, you know what I mean? It's all from...
Is Michael Keaton going to be in this then? Going to be Birdman?
Oh my god! But it's a very interesting way to think about it because I don't really remember a game that tried to do something like that before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks solid.
Where is the sex mini game going to be?
I know.
It's like, what are you going to be
in
doing?
the beginning? In the beginning.
You're going to be when you make
you're going to make your kid.
You're going to make your son.
You're making your son.
Well, it's funny
because I killed my first family. I got to make a new one.
I may have missed this. when they first showed it. What was it last year when they first showed God of War? And they showed him with the kid, but I don't think they called him his son last year, did they?
I think they did.
Oh, so maybe I just missed it.
It's really hard for me to remember.
Because this whole time I was like, I thought it was just assumed it was his kid, and I was like, oh, they confirmed it this year. But if they said it last year, I just completely missed that.
I think they did. I could be wrong. But I know they showed gameplay last year.
But yeah, so, I mean, God of War looks solid. They showed Spider-Man to close the show. Again, looks really cool, but I have a couple concerns about it. Ton of QuickTime events, a ton of tool tips. I don't know if you noticed during the gameplay, every time you're in a position, in the bottom right-hand corner, it tells you what buttons to press to do something. It's like,
I didn't notice
maybe that could be just like a thing near the beginning
it
of
could
the
be.
game.
It could very well be a tutorial thing. Maybe you can shut it off.
It did look like the beginning of the game.
I mean, it looks
also
good.
Looked like the game had a very like Batman Arkham series inspiration.
Which for me, I'm on board with that. If you're gonna give me an Arkham quality game with Spider-Man, I'm sold already. It looks really good. They showed a lot of it. Again, a lot of QTEs, which I don't have the disdain for QTEs like a lot of people I think do, because I think there's a lot of negative connotation when you mention QuickTime events just without actually people seeing what is going on.
I don't even care about QuickTime events as much as because if you really want to play a game that overdoes it, play Ashura's Wrath.
Yeah.
That is QuickTime event the game.
No, that's Heavy Rain.
Well,
yeah, but Heavy Rain is different. It's not an action game, so it's kind of like it does. I feel like it doesn't carry the same.
I forgot about that game.
Well, we could talk about Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you my biggest disappointment with Heavy Rain was when I played it. I was like, man, that was pretty good. And I was like, if I play it again, is the story going to change? Going to be a different guy? No.
My biggest disappointment is that I still walk around saying Jason.
But so Spider-Man looked good. They showed more Days Gone, which is like the zombie motorcycle game. Which personally, I think when they showed it last year, I was like, ugh, this does not look that good. But then when they showed it this year, I was like, it looks very much like Last of Us. I got Last of Us vibes, but turns out it's way more open world than Last of Us. It's like an open world game, like because I was intrigued by it, so I watched a couple interviews the guys did at E3 also, and people talked about, I guess the stage demo they showed with, him going down the road, getting clotheslined off the thing, blah blah blah. I guess the offstage demo, like behind closed doors and stuff, was the same section, but the weather was drastically different, like it was snowing and shit. So they showed like alternate path, like, oh, because it's snowing, those wolves aren't in the road, so they don't chase you, you don't get clotheslined, you don't fight those guys in the road. Instead, you go off-road through the woods on your motorcycle, and you happen to come across the guys waiting in ambush, so you get an ambush on them, kill them, then there's a different way that you can do the whole outpost thing to save your bud. So
sounds like something that should have been shown.
Well, the thing is, I think they wanted to sort of, from what I gathered from the way they talked about it, was they very specifically, because you can see it, like they let people record, I think, a lot of the snow stuff, like if you can YouTube it. But the feeling I got was, that they wanted two very distinct ways to do it, to show like there's a ton of variety in this. And again, from what I was reading from people, there's a ton of systems in this game. Like, it's not just, hey, it's Last of Us, but a motorcycle guy. It's
Daryl Dixon edition.
That was the biggest feel I had, is it felt like Last of Us Light.
Yeah, like, but a lot of people,
similar.
What a lot of people were saying, it's once they actually like saw it and were talking to the guys, it's way more like Horizon. Instead of like it's open world, you're setting traps, you're scouting, like it's a lot more mental game. Like there's a lot more stuff at play, there's a lot more crafting and stuff like that.
I wish they would have showed that, because the thing they showed just felt very Last of Us.
It was very canned, right? It was like, here's a very 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 linear slice of what's going on. But again, I think
did that get a release date, or did that get another early?
I think that was again
very vague.
2018.
Just said eventually.
But again, talking to the guy, like, it looks cool. It's definitely something I'm going to kind of keep on my radar and check out.
My interest is low currently, but I can change it anytime.
Yeah, I mean, it's on my radar. I'm going to wait and see. But I mean, like, it looks really good.
Yeah, no argument there.
And and I like the brutality of it, and I don't mean like over the top, like very much like I liked in The Last of Us, where like it was very brutal when you killed someone. Like it didn't feel like it wasn't like Uncharted, right?
I mean, when you had laser fists.
Uncharted, you're bombing around, you're killing a bunch of dudes, but everyone's still cracking jokes and it's a great time. Which that's the vibe in Uncharted. I still love Uncharted, but that's what I liked about The Last of Us was
Nathan Drake is the happiest psychopath.
Yeah, like what I loved about The Last of Us was when I killed somebody in that game, it felt like it had weight to it. Like Joel was not super psyched about killing these guys.
No, I agree, but if we start talking about The Last of Us,
we'll be here all day.
A very long time. That game's incredible.
Well, when you're Joel and you're punching someone to death, like, you basically have mountains for fists.
Listen, you got to beat a motherfucker
hidden with the force of a god. Like,
they also, speaking of Uncharted, they did show more of the Lost Legacy, which looks really cool. I'm excited about that. Will probably get it because I've played every Uncharted, and this looks good.
I trust them. So I mean,
we already talked about Shadow of the Colossus getting the remake, which looks cool. I'm psyched for it.
I don't care.
I'm just going to do a quick talk about the Marvel Infinite trailer they showed, which was god-awful.
It was gross. What happened?
The Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite fan fiction trailer?
Have you seen people put out the side-by-sides of Chun-Li and Dante from what they looked like in the last game they were in to what they look like in this?
The only thing I'm going to say about that is they look 100 times better in the game. Not in those cutscenes.
But that's what it's about. Like, what happened?
Action, I don't know. I don't know, but I know people are gonna buy this game because they want to play the story. That's not why I'm buying this game. I'm buying this game because I love fighting games and I love Marvel.
The thing for me,
Capcom games.
And so we can talk about. They also showed a Monster Hunter game, which
look the weirdest T-Rex I've ever seen.
The thing for me was that trailer started, and I was like, man, this looks like Monster Hunter, but I was like, is Sony trying to make their own version of Monster Hunter? Because the last time a Monster Hunter came on console was so long ago. Like, what is it, PS2
Wii?
Maybe?
No, the Wii.
Was there one
Monster
on Wii?
Hunter Try.
Oh, that's right.
But did that come out in the States?
I've never played a Monster Hunter game. I don't know why I know that.
But did that come out in the States or was that
like
just
a
Japan?
demo?
It came out in the
It
States.
came out in America.
Well,
I remember it.
The thing for me with Monster Hunter is, on paper, it seems like the perfect game for me. But I hate playing. I don't really like playing on handhelds. And I bought one of the ones on 3DS, and I was like, this is cool, but it's a handheld. Like, I just didn't play a lot of it. So I'm on the fence about this one. This might be the one that I'm like, all right, cool, I can get into it. I have to wait and see. But it was cool. Also, not Sony exclusive, which I think a lot of people thought it was because it was there. But they did tweet out.
That gets confused a lot with E3 when things are shown.
Yeah,
so where else is that game coming out? It's PlayStation,
Xbox, and PC probably, maybe.
I'd imagine. The best part for me is when that dude whipped out his mobile cooking stand.
That was cool. I thought the grass cape, when he just kind of whipped that on, I was like, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, my man had a ghillie suit ready to go.
But yes, Monster Hunter looked cool. I'm trying to think what else they showed.
A lot of stuff that's not coming out.
The thing about the Sony conference was everything they showed was the same stuff they showed last year, except for Shadow of the Colossus and Monster Hunter and the VR stuff.
Yeah, that upset me a bit. And like, I get we did see new stuff. Like, seeing new God of War stuff, I'm excited for. Seeing new Spider-Man
but
stuff,
we already know those
obviously,
games are coming out.
Yeah, I know they're excited for
I'm also surprised by the villain choice for Spider-Man.
Mr. Negative.
That's just
Mr. Negative.
I'm assuming that's just one of. There'll probably be more.
I don't know. I feel like he might be like the big villain, like the overall like arcing thing, and then there may be like a team up or something.
The thing is, there's a lot of
We'll find out. We still got 700 years before the game comes out.
Yeah, it's like 700 years. There's probably 700 costumes in this because Spider-Man has like a whole closet full.
And the Miles Morales.
Yeah, little Miles tease, which I didn't catch at first. I saw it when I watched the trailer again.
Well, I think there was like two different things. Like there was a trailer that they showed during their press conference, and then when they put it up later, there was more.
There's a little extra.
No, the Miles thing was everyone was getting up to walk away, and then they played it on the screen. Like kind of like like Marvel, you got to watch through the credits. Yeah. They credits the crowd.
Played it.
Which I wonder, like, is he already Spider-Man in this game?
That's what I was
like going to turn into that at some point. Like,
There's a lot of unknowns with this game.
That's cool though. I like that character, so he can be in there all he wants. Yeah.
As long as I can get the white off of the arms.
Well, it's funny
hands.
because one of my buddies had tweeted like the game looks good, but still not liking that suit. And I tweeted back and I was like, I was like, I'm not feeling the suit either, but you got to assume it's just like the Arkham games. There's going to be a ton of different Spider-Man suits.
Or even in like the other Spider-Man games that have come out in the past, there's like 10 to 15 suits that you can unlock, whether they're like DLC or like pre-order exclusives.
Let me just
like,
bomb it around in the classic Spidey, red and blue. Or I would take Superior Spidey outfit.
Or the bombastic Bagman.
Well, that's a given. That's like, I don't even have to say it because it's the obvious choice. But I'm trying to think like if they showed anything else that... I think overall, in my opinion, Sony's conference was the weakest one.
If we're going 3 out of the consoles or going out of everyone...
I mean, if I'm talking about the main 3.
Okay,
because I was going to say, I think EA, because the Sony one's cooler than EA.
Yeah, okay, that's what I make clear.
No. But out of the main 3, I think Sony was the weakest one. They didn't... I mean, the only good thing was they didn't talk about like hardware at all. They didn't talk about the Pro at all. None of that shit.
No,
it was just really need to.
And they talked more Destiny 2 stuff. And
they did.
We knew that was coming. I think we're all on that.
Listen, they don't need to sell me a copy of fucking Destiny. My thing's been pre-ordered.
This is forever. 3 people you don't need to sell Destiny to. 2.
2.
So I mean I think Sony's E3 conference. I'll give it a little.
Is it time to switch it up?
The little guy just.
So the last one we'll cover is Nintendo, which thank God it was more of a direct. Nintendo doing live stuff is horrible. Just give me directs forever.
You don't want like weird puppets and shit?
Puppets cool, but put that in the direct.
Miyamoto had a gun.
He did have a gun. He had a Mega Buster.
A bullet
Again,
bill Mega
no
Buster.
new Mega Man anywhere. Fuck, man. We've said it before.
Hey,
but they're releasing
fair,
the Mega Man 2 collection. So you got 7, 8, 9, and 10, guys.
Listen,
7's finally
here's the thing. I've said this so many times in life. Capcom, just say, hey, Nintendo, you are the only one who's made Mega Man shit that's worth a damn in the last 10 years. Here, make a Mega Man game.
9 and 10 are good.
But are people burning down the doors to play 9 and 10? No. But motherfuckers love that he's in Smash Bros.
Well, he's even in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Or we have
him and Zero.
The greatest Mega Man game ever in Mighty Number... Okay, anyways, about Nintendo.
I just saw today when I went on Switch to buy ARMS that there's
Mighty Volt game or whatever.
Yeah, Mighty Number 9 like 2D side scroller.
That's like there's like a team up game. It's like him and someone else.
Gunvolt maybe was it?
Gunvolt. Yes, it is. I will say this. This is the last thing. It looks better.
It does look way better.
That's not setting the bar very high, but there's also, it's either on Facebook or Instagram. I've been seeing some weird like Android blah 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 game that they've been trying to market
Mighty
towards
Number
me.
9 in its stupid
and
eyes.
It looks like that game, but I'm like, what are they doing?
So back to Nintendo. I think Nintendo had an amazing presentation. And the thing for me was going into it, Nintendo was on record being like, we're not showing anything that's not coming out in 2017. So when they opened the conference, showing this Kirby game or whatever, and it said 2018, I was like, all bets are off. Who knows what could be in here now? And then my brain went nuts. And then they showed the Yoshi game. Kirby Yoshi.
Now with paper.
Both those games look good to me. I love platformers.
I don't think there's been like a proper Kirby game in a while.
Well, somebody brought up a point I saw online that Kirby historically
there's one on the Wii U.
Usually comes out towards the end of the life cycle of a Nintendo console. For whatever reason. Whether that's true or not, this is what the point the guy made. I'm not a Kirby researcher.
Whatever the last Kirby was for the Wii U came out relatively early.
Yeah, but what was the Wii U's life cycle? Fucking 6 months.
What was that Kirby game called? Was it? It's not the Woolly World. It's like
Rainbow something.
Kirby and like
Rainbow Gimmick. I don't know. Anyways, they showed Pokken Tournament,
which I don't give a fuck
gimmick,
about that.
Which no one cares about. But they're
Kirby and the Rainbow Curse.
I told you it had rainbow in it.
But when did it come out?
Never. Yeah,
what year did it come out? It came out in.
Well, he's looking that up. Core Pokemon game coming to the Switch.
Which that was huge.
Excited about that. But all we got was in development.
It's ways off.
Thanks.
Yeah. The thing with me with the Pokemon one though, I think a lot of people assume it's like 2-3 years off. I don't think it's that long. I think they just didn't have anything to show.
It's next year.
So they showed that Yoshi, Kirby, both those games look good to me. I might try them out. Who knows? I like that they didn't spend a lot of time on ARMS and Splatoon, which I thought they were going to do initially.
2015.
There you go.
Not that long ago.
So then they also
stylus
talked
game.
about Metroid Prime 4 or whatever, right? Or whatever the fuck
They
it's called.
just showed a screen. That's all they did.
development.
Well, I never
They
played
showed us
any
a-
of those other ones. I'm not a huge Metroid guy, personally.
One,
Like, never
good.
have been.
2, meh. 3, let's not talk about it.
So, I mean, people got hyped as shit for this. Good for you. I
I don't really care. I don't really care much for like a third-person style Metroid game.
Wait, what?
Isn't
Oh, okay. You
Prime, aren't those all third-person?
first person.
Sorry, first-person.
Yeah.
FPS Metroid, bro.
Confusion here.
It's okay. But the reason I can't get hype behind it is because when I see stuff and it's closer to release, then I'll be excited. I'm excited Metroid Prime 4 is happening. I hope it goes off fine. I hope it doesn't get shit
I'm
canned.
just surprised that they're like, hey, we're gonna let Samus be in a game that's not Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool, and I'm excited for it. You got that. You got Rocket League. They showed off more Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Rocket League is basically going to be on every platform soon enough.
Which I think
It's
is great.
Mine-
Rocket League is a huge
Rocket
seller.
League and Minecraft will combined, and the world will end.
Well,
Rocket Craft.
speaking of Minecraft and Rocket League, we didn't bring this up during Xbox. It came out after the conferences that there is
4K.
4K Minecraft. Which, funnily enough, people from the show that demoed the 4K Minecraft were like, "Holy shit, it looks super good."
Actually, really funny thing about that, the high texture packs they have on PC are actually really hard to run.
I love Minecraft.
It's amazing.
Me and Cory tried co-op Minecraft one time, and we got fucking
argument
hella
there.
lost. I think one of us
we
died.
tried to dig. Yeah, we tried to dig to the center of the earth,
That didn't work out so good.
and then
But,
I lost my dog, and I tried to get the dog back, and then I just fucking fell
Trying
into
to
lava.
find the Illuminati of lizard people.
Hell yeah, bruh. But
Me
so
and Teej had our tinfoil hats on. We were on an adventure.
we were out in the world, bro. Just us in a boat that we found. But yeah, so they announced that it's going to be crossplay, which I thought was really super cool.
With everything.
Everything
Super cool.
except for PlayStation.
Isn't PlayStation trying to put up the roadblock? Like
PlayStation is not crossplay with these games, Rocket League and Minecraft, because and this is a loose quote, so I'm paraphrasing here, but the bullshit excuse, I think what's his name, Jack Ryan, which is like the head of Sony PR or whatever, he said because they can't ensure the safety of PlayStation players via when they're doing crossplay because they don't control those other
That
platforms.
makes sense because PlayStation Network gets hacked every 2 weeks anyways. Also, since we're going back in time, original Xbox games are backwards compatible, and we all forgot.
Yes, also, yeah, well, but they did, well, here's the thing is,
And they're bringing
Not
back
yet,
the
not
Duke.
yet,
The
yeah.
Duke is back.
here's the thing though is they said where fuck me, dude. So they said because we all know now, like the 360 backward compat is not everything. It's curated, but it is a lot of
No,
stuff.
yeah, it is select
That's
things,
fine.
and it's going to be select games.
It's gonna
for
be-
this,
and they said it's
as
not
long
gonna
as I
be
can
as
play
many.
Morrowind, I'm okay with
And
it.
they said it's not going to be as many as 360 only because it's so long ago, like rights issues and legal stuff, like all that. It's such a
But like,
mess.
how many games from the original Xbox can you even name
I didn't
right
even
off the top
own-
of your head that you want to fucking play?
I didn't
Black,
own the original
Morrowind,
Xbox.
Which one?
Halo, Black,
Oh, the gun game.
Morrowind, Halo 2.
You can play that shit right now.
He asked me how many I can name, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm already running out.
What was the Rockstar game? Manhunt? Wasn't that on Xbox?
Yeah, but that's better on the Wii because you can actually choke him. Sorry, I got a little weird there.
Got a little worked up there. Excuse me.
Anyways, can we talk about Dinosaur Mario?
Oh fuck! Mario honestly looks so good.
4K Yoshi.
The thing for me, because I was already listen,
Yoshi.
it does.
I'm ready
not,
to go to New Dog City.
Listen, it does not take a lot to sell me on a new Mario game. Does not take much.
Mario can be a taxi.
You could be everything.
Crazy Taxi.
Hey! He's
We've
bombing
we've
in.
come,
I'm gonna make us
we've
some
come
crazy
full
money.
circle.
Did you see the fucking? I saw somebody put up the meme or whatever. It was the taxi with the Mario hat on it, and it was like, "It's a me, your Uber. I'm outside." I was like, "This is so
Oh,
good."
so good. Freaking Dapper Bowser.
But the thing for
Yeah.
me was the vibe I got, anyways, was it seemed like very much like the Zelda team did with Breath of the Wild. They were like, "Here are all
him a
these
chance.
conventions that you know of Mario. We're just gonna fucking push them so far and make
mean-
something that's."
Switch it up.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
So he's like, we're gonna make
we're done.
something.
Show's over. We're done.
He's like, we're gonna make something that feels distinctly Mario, but is so different than what you've played before.
Yeah,
And it looks incredible to me.
cultural appropriate Mario, rocking his sombrero. He's good to go.
Poncho.
Listen, I literally jumped out of my chair when I saw Sombrero Mario.
It looks awesome.
Apparently, somebody
throws the
pointed
sombrero.
out. Yeah, somebody pointed out that a lot of the costumes that you see him wearing in this are throwback like nods to other Mario games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they showed the quick montage of, I believe, a costume shop or something. You can
Yeah,
switch
there's
up
like
how you
different
look
hat
at
shops and
times.
shit. I saw in the demos people were getting off like the conference thing that people were in. But
Predictions. Will there be a fedora in this game?
I hope not.
Better be. I better throw it at Bowser.
So
Will
what I
Mario
like
throw
too,
a fidget spinner?
But Bowser.
I liked the different gameplay elements too you saw, which was like you have the hat that you're throwing and possessing people. There's different like attacks he has. There's different moves. I saw in a demo like you can roll around very much like a Samus roll.
Or a Sonic roll.
Yeah, but it wasn't really Sonic though because he wasn't going super fast.
Oh yeah, Sonic Mania 2. Random shout out. I'm excited.
It looks
for it.
really good.
I can't wait for all the fanfic characters to get made.
That's the difference.
Yeah, that's
Which
Sonic
one's that one?
Rush or whatever the fuck it's called, right? No, it's
That's
not
Sonic
Rush, is it?
Furry.
It's Forces.
Forces. He got it. There you go.
But what I liked was
force
you saw
itself upon
the
you.
the bit in the Mario trailer where like he goes in the pipe that's pixelated, ends up on the wall, and it's like classic 2D Mario.
that was
like,
awesome. Edit, very Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
feel
Oh
to
my
it.
god, dude, it's gonna be so good. Like, I was talking to my brother about it, and I think I remember we talked about it on the show. We were all kind of up in the air on the Switch before it came out. Where I don't know how it's gonna. Like, I especially was very critical of the Switch, which I think is good to be.
No. You
Well,
no.
listen.
Never. No.
Well, I'll tell you why you got to be critical.
Never.
You got to be critical because most people nowadays will just blindly accept shit that these companies do, and it's just like it's totally fine. You got to be critical, but they have won me over, and I think depending on when some of these games come out, the Switch might have the best like first year of a console ever in terms of games.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty strong.
Because you
pretty
got
damn good.
arguably the best Zelda game ever. Best in my opinion, Zelda game ever.
It's my second favorite Zelda
A
game.
Mario
still.
game that looks like it might be the best Mario ever, right? Well, I'm talking in terms of like 3D Marios. You can't compare them to like classic Mario.
It's got tough competition for that. It's got real tough.
Already, like I love Mario 64. Looks cooler than Mario 64. There's way more to do.
I don't know. We'll see how I get to New Donk City. If I got to jump through a painting, I'm sold.
Oh my god!
I don't think you could be jumping through any paint.
Yeah, you got the ship. I don't know what they called it. I don't know. The Odyssey.
the High
That's what
Wind?
they called. The Odyssey is his like
The Mario
spaceship
High
thing
Wind?
that you bomb it around.
We'll see. I have high hopes for it. It's a day one purchase, and I cannot wait.
Arms. We talked about before we started recording. I bought Arms. Played a little bit today.
Arms.
It's awesome. So shout
I
out
might
Arms.
pick it up.
I might do it. I did get paid today.
You should
And
buy
I am-
Arms.
I am.
You should buy
I
Arms
am
and not be a fuckboy like Cory who got cart like 3 weeks after, and we still haven't played cart.
Yeah, we should do that later.
I'm down to play some cart. I will put the wood to you, son.
I don't know if I like the way that you just said I will put the
Listen.
wood to you. That's
You interpret
Well,
it
it's-
how you think it's going to be when we get in
It's
there.
obviously breaking down. This is the end. This is it.
This is the show. Nintendo was
Final
awesome.
episode. It's done.
done.
You guys are breaking up right now.
Someone's
You're
going to
fighting
get fucked in Mario Kart.
Poor Toad.
But yeah, I mean, the one thing that I thought they were for sure going to announce during the Nintendo thing, but they didn't, was Smash Bros. Deluxe. I thought for sure they were going to port Smash.
I thought that was a shoo-in as well. And
Especially since we got Pokken DX.
the game of a generation, to be honest with you.
You could have easily...
That's a top tier fighter.
You could have easily scrapped that Pokken tournament game and put Smash, and it would have been way better.
Or,
I think you
or
probably
just
would've got
shave 2
more
minutes off of
excitement.
your conference and you'd have been fine.
Because, like, I don't know, like, who really wants to play Pokemon fighting like that?
Well, especially when I found out, because I didn't follow this game at all.
Apparently, some people.
I didn't follow that Pokken tournament at all, so I had no idea anything about it. But they're like, oh, there's 20 characters. I was like, what the fuck? There's 100-something Pokemon. Why aren't they all in there?
I don't know.
Capcom got 50 motherfuckers involved with Capcom 2. I can't have 50 Pokemons in this.
50 Pokemon.
Motherfuckers, man. Speaking of, just real quick before we kind of wrap up, they announced that they're going to have the mainline Pokemon game. What do you hope it is? Personally, I would like to see us go back to the original lands of Pokemon with the Ridge 150. Not a remake, but like you go back, there's a new character.
I'm fine with the remake.
I mean, I'd be on.
I don't
board.
want to
If they were like, we're just remaking Red and Blue on Switch, I'd be like, all right.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, I would still buy it, but I would prefer like the idea
if it looks like Mario Odyssey, pretty and it's beautiful.
Where is the Professor Oak story?
Here's my thing, though. Thinking about
That's
Pokemon,
Father Oak,
Huh?
Daddy Oak.
Daddy Oak.
he
Go on that adventure so I can talk to your mom.
He's banging Mrs. Ketchum.
Why do you think he was so quick to be like, oh, your new kid, whatever, here's Pokemon. Fuck
Here's
off.
a Pokemon, get out of here.
He's like, I'm going to fill your
Oak.
Pokedex, am I right?
You fill up the Pokedex, I'll fill up your anyways.
But,
Tell
so,
you about that when you're older.
but the thing is, looking at Odyssey, right, and having played Breath of the Wild, my brain is like running crazy with just how a Pokemon could be on the Switch. Like, it could easily just be super open like Breath of the Wild, and you're like, hey, I'm going to go find some Pokemon, or I'm going to go fuck off somewhere. That would be
It could be crazy. Judging from every core Pokemon game they made, it will probably just be the same thing.
Which is fine, too.
I mean, they got a formula. They don't really have
Yeah, but
to
the
change
thing
much.
is, you got to think
No,
about
it
it
works.
because
It
there's
makes
no
money.
way that you're going to do... I don't think they're going to do like another, like, kind of top semi-top down. You know what I mean? Like they do on the handheld.
I can see it happening more over the shoulder though.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is more the like Zelda style camera angle.
Like I don't think it's gonna be like full. Like most likely, it's not gonna be like Breath of the Wild in terms of like the whole world is open and you just go.
Time to leap off this cliff.
Yeah, he's like fucking bomb it out, catch me,
Come on,
Pikachu.
Pidgeotto.
He's like fuck off.
You just throw Pidgey out and you're just like trying to glide from it, and it's just like
It's like a cuckoo.
struggling
What
to
are you
keep
doing?
you up.
But I mean, but then you think about it though. Think about when you're playing Breath of the Wild and you come around a corner and randomly there's a Bokoblin camp, right? That could just as easily be you're out searching for Pokemon, you come around the corner and there's like a fucking giant like Onyx or something right there, and you're like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Or
Time
there's
to
like a
murder
trainer
that thing.
out there and they just fight you. Like what is it in Breath of the Wild, the Yiga clan or whatever? How they just fucking show up, ninjas.
Yeah, that's just no, those scrubs. Come on.
Well, they're I mean they're a bunch of bums, but you know. But yeah, I thought Nintendo showed
one
was
under the
pretty
hero of time.
cool. No.
Plus, we're gonna get that Breath of the Wild DLC soon.
Yes, I wish they would have
Went
the
over
first
the good part of the
DLC pack. Well, the first DLC pack, like it's gonna be cool, but I don't think it's gonna be. It's not the main one. The main stuff we want is in pack 2.
Yeah, with all the amiibos.
Yeah,
Oh, the amiibos.
listen, don't fuck
Goron,
with me,
bro.
because I'm like I might have to buy that Goron one. That's the homie.
I'm already sold on the Goron and the Garuda woman.
I can't not buy the wrestling village people of.
No, you can't let
They're
that
the
guy off the shelf.
best.
It's the greatest.
But it is kind of weird, just since they do look, like they're people feet. They're just standing there like normal flat-footed poses.
But they got the plastic fucking thing in them.
Why is the plastic thing going in his butt?
Yeah, I didn't like that. I was like, why is this here?
Yeah, why is it
I
there?
don't think they like it either.
Probably not. It's probably always got that grimace on his face, just standing there like, ugh.
But I'll tell you, when they first launched Amiibos, I was like, I'm not going to buy any of these. And then I got the
many do you
Toon
own?
Link one from Smash. That's like the Wind Waker Link. I was like, fuck, all right, I need that one because I love that one. Then they put out the Pixel Link one. I was like, fuck, all right. Then I got the Pixel Mario 30th anniversary. And then I was like, fuck. Then they were like, all right, we're going to put out a special Shovel Knight one. I was like, motherfuckers, had to buy that one. Now I also have a Sonic and a Mega Man.
I have a Mega Man and a Toon Link.
I've got too many.
Which
I
apparently...
will probably soon have more.
Which apparently the Smash Bros. Toon Link one, kind of a rare amiibo. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just bought it because I like Zelda.
Yeah, same.
That's the
There's a
green one, right?
Bayonetta one coming out, right?
And a Cloud, right?
There's 2 Cloud ones and 2 Bayonetta ones.
Yeah, because I think there's
here,
like one version.
one
is
for
exclusive,
Bayonetta
so-
1, one for Bayonetta 2, and then there's Advent Children Cloud and classic FF7 Cloud.
I wish he was like super polygonal.
I wish he was in a wheelchair.
That would be amazing. Just,
Disc 3, trust me, it's in the game.
I don't like Final Fantasy 7. I said it right now.
It's okay.
that's okay.
It's the end of the show.
That's the end of this friendship. It's over. But yeah, so that's
Final Fantasy
E3.
VII should have been Zach's game.
Oh, God.
What was the guy?
Hour
The
two-
only guy I
hour
liked
two.
in 7. What was his name? The guy with the red cape. He was cool.
Vincent?
Oh, my God.
He looked cool.
Stop it, you edgelord.
He looked. That's awesome character design. Not like Cloud.
Reaper? Are
You a Reaper main?
No. God no.
You're worse.
All right.
Listen.
You want to just like wrap it up with like your 3 favorite things from E3?
Sure. Let somebody else go first because I need to.
Mario.
Fuck, that's probably one of mine.
And
That's one of mine.
fuck.
I got my 3 right.
That was really it for me.
This Mario.
Really?
There's
Mario's
some other
the
stuff. I mean, there's some other stuff that I was like, hell yeah, but like that was what really like I saw it and I was like, that looks so tight.
Corey doesn't play games, so it's
Oh,
shocking
shit.
he picked one
Fake
thing.
gamer.
Fake nerd
For me, and it's in an order. Evil Within 2, the top of my list.
Yep.
Most excited for it. Then Super Mario Odyssey. I think it looks fantastic. Can't wait to see more of it. Can't wait to play it. And then Anthem. I'm really excited to learn more about it.
I would say for me, Wolfenstein 2. One, because it excited me so much I went and bought the first one and I'm enjoying that right now. And knowing that I don't have to wait that long before the second one is out makes it even better. 2, obviously Mario Odyssey, I think we can all agree, may have been the best game shown at this fucking whole conference. Like, it looks so good.
It was hard to argue against it.
And 3 for me, I mean, I
Mario XCOM.
oh my god, dude, no.
I can't leave Spider-Man out.
Yeah, I don't think for me though, Anthem intrigued me more than Spider-Man did because I kind of know what I'm getting with Spider-Man, whereas Anthem is still such an unknown to me, and especially as someone who doesn't play a lot of BioWare games, like I don't play Mass Effect, there is so much I have no clue about that game. But outside of that, I mean, I'm just like I was hyped for all the info that kind of came out about Destiny 2. Obviously not new stuff, but like I was eating all that shit up as it was coming out. There was a lot of controversy around Destiny 2 behind, like, going on around the show. Not in conferences, obviously, but like people were up in a fucking tizzy about this. So yeah, it was a lot of stuff. It was an okay show. Not the best E3 ever, but there was some standout shit. Fuck it, we're done here. Corey's got to fidget spin his way to fuck off somewhere. I can't even put a proper insult together because I hate these things so much.
They're so stupid.
I love you guys. Don't fight.
So we're done here. We got to play some Mario Kart. Maybe.
Probably. I'm going to play Crazy Taxi on my phone.
All right,
Hey,
Corey,
we're
take
outta
us out.
here.
You're going to close the show like you opened it.
Like I opened it poorly.
Basically.
We're out of here. Later. Jesus Christ.
Drop the mic. We out.